Buckle up, bitches. It's part 3 of the race to the pole. Scott's team arrived over a month after Amundsen. They're super bummed that Norway got there first, and they have a long walk back to the ship. Now you're caught up.
So after taking the L, Scott's team of 5 turned around and began their 800-mile walk of shame back to the ship. They were super behind schedule and racing to make it back to the ship before winter came, but their bad luck continued, y'all. Unfortunately, winter came early, and they faced insane blizzards. They ran out of food and fuel. A depot they got to didn't have supplies they were counting on. Like, everything that could go wrong did. They put in about a month of hiking, but eventually each one of Scott's men started to give in to the extreme cold and lack of food. Keep in mind, they're still pulling their own sledges with hundreds of pounds of weight behind them in negative 40-degree weather. Time out. Did y'all know that negative 40 is the same for Fahrenheit and Celsius? All right, time in. 1 month into the return, Edgar Evans permanently clocked out near the base of the Beardmore Glacier. Oates went next. He just had such bad frostbite in his hands and his feet. He just had enough, y'all, and he didn't want to slow his team down anymore. So one day, while the remaining 4 were hunkered down in a tent during a blizzard, Oates stood up and said he was going to step outside, and he just walked off into a blizzard and was never seen again. Oates' sacrifice did speed the team up, but it was too late. In March, they were caught in another massive blizzard that lasted 9 days. Without food or fuel, they knew they were goners. All of them had frostbite at this point, no food, no fuel, and they were stuck in a never-ending blizzard. They all wrote farewell letters to their loved ones and just waited for death. Speaking of writing, Scott wrote meticulously in his journals throughout the entire expedition, and he journaled to the very end. His last entry was March 29th, 1912. Every day we have been ready to start our depot, 11 miles away, but outside of the door of the tent it remains a scene of whirling drift. I do not think I can hope for any better things now. We shall stick it out to the very end, but we are getting weaker, of course, and the end cannot be far. It seems a pity, but I do not think I can write more. Last entry. For God's sake, look after our people. Y'all, they were only 11 miles from One Ton Depot, which would have saved their lives. They had already done over 700 miles, and they were only 11 miles away. Ugh, it pulls at my cold, dead heart, y'all. About 7 months later, after winter had passed, a rescue team found the tent with the frozen bodies of Scott, Wilson, and Bowers all in their sleeping bags. They built a cairn over the tent and took their belongings, research samples, and all of Scott's journals back to the ship and sailed back home. During the trek to the pole, Wilson had collected about 30 pounds of plant fossils, which the rescue team took back to the ship. These fossils would end up helping to prove the continental drift theory. Remember, Scott's expedition was scientific first, pole second, so mission failed successfully? Scott's ship, the Terra Nova, made it back to England and was used a few more years before it sank somewhere off the coast of Greenland in 1943. It was actually recently discovered in 2012. Amundsen's ship, the Fram, had a weird life after its Antarctic voyage that involved being shipwrecked in California for a bit. It's crazy. But today, the ship is housed in the Fram Museum in Oslo, and you can climb aboard the ship and see their sleeping quarters, where they ate, everything. It's super fucking cool. I could talk about this forever, y'all. There's so many layers to the polar race that I didn't even touch on. Let me know in the comments what you want to know. Follow along for more Arctic adventures and stay awesome, y'all.